Welcome to the Startup Funding Espresso. I'm Halti Martin, where we talk about how to raise funding and invest in startups and the time it takes to drink an espresso. If you have a question about startup funding or investing, please go to the website, startupfundingespresso.com, and type in your question into the chat bot in the lower right corner to receive an answer. I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, this is Halti Martin with the Startup Funding Espresso, your daily shot at startup funding and investing. In pursuing a startup, you'll need to know the industry in which you are building it. The industry will have a great impact on the success of the startup through the overall size, growth rate, and composition. Here are some key points to consider in researching an industry. What is the size and growth rate of the industry? Investors look for a large market with good growth rates, as this will give opportunities to the startup. What are the various sectors within the industry? In future pivots, it may be necessary to move to other sectors. And what are key trends in the industry? This will determine how you position your startup and what you build. What are the barriers to entry in each of the sectors? Competitors will have moats around their business that a startup must disrupt. How much funding will it take to overcome those barriers? The greater the funding required, the longer and harder it will be to win a place in the industry. And what distribution channels are available in each sector? The more channels available, the greater the opportunity for a startup to succeed. And what are the regulatory requirements? Regulation can be a significant barrier to entry, but once achieved, can be a great moat. Consider these points in analyzing the industry for your startup. Thank you for joining us for the Startup Funding Espresso, where we help startups and investors connect for funding. Let's go start us into today. Halti Martin is the director of Investor Connect, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors for early stage funding. All opinions expressed by Hall and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Investor Connect. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions.